Robert Zemeckis, director of the incredible Flight. Absolute pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Thank you.
It feels like I should say welcome back to live action filmmaking, really, because you've been at the forefront of technology and technique with Christmas Carol and Beowulf and Polar Express. What was it about this film that drew you back to actually working with actors?
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. I thought the screenplay was just really compelling and different and interesting, and you know, that's what I'm always drawn to, is the screenplay.
And I mean, this screenplay, it is so interesting. It's a very adult, complex film because, you know, the script, it's very forthright in presenting a world of really wavering morality. I mean, there's drug abuse, there's alcoholism, the sex trade, and then there's this central character, and we don't know if he'll ever redeem himself or be punished for his crimes. Was that sense of, you know, moral ambiguity very important to you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I love that. Those were the films that I grew up, you know, falling in love with when I was in film school. You know, those great films of the 70s that were always filled with moral ambiguity, and we don't seem to make those films much anymore. And so when this one came along, and not only was it filled with such complexity and moral ambiguity, but at the same time it was very compelling and dramatic. And I thought that, you know, for a screenwriter to be able to do something and pull all those elements together, it was worth doing. For sure.
And from your experience as a screenwriter, what's the relationship like when you're working on a film that isn't your own script? I mean, it's a very collaborative process with the writers, or do you let them do their thing?
Oh, no. It's very collaborative. As a matter of fact, the first thing I asked John Gatins was whether he would be on the set with me the whole time and, you know, come on location, and he agreed to do it. So absolutely, I have to always embrace the writer.
And of course, the leading man, the Oscar-nominated leading man of your film. Tell me what it's like working with Denzel, because he's such a magnetic actor, and this performance is beautiful. But he seems like quite an internal actor. I mean, does he tell you what he's thinking about the character? Does he get you involved in his, you know, idea of the background of the character, or when you have Denzel, do you just let him do his thing? No,
you know, it's actually the honest answer is both. In the early process of production, in pre-production, we spent many hours and many days just talking and deconstructing the character and getting under the character's skin. And we talked at great length. And then on the day when we're on the set, then Denzel is very quiet. And, you know, even if I were to ask him, you know, so what do you think about what we're going to do here? His answer would always be, I don't know. Let's see what happens. You know, that was so. The process is all in pre-production, for sure.
And now, I mean, there's this incredible flight sequence and accident at the start of the film, but it almost becomes incidental to what is essentially a character study. But I read that you're actually an instrument-trained pilot, rated pilot. But what with this and the incident in Castaway, I mean, did you have a bad experience training, or what's your attraction?
No. I'm fortunate. I don't want any experiences like this in my real flying. It's a coincidence, you know. I mean, it was important for this story that that Denzel's character be someone who's responsible for other people's lives, and obviously there's a lot of professions where people are responsible for other people's lives, but the most dramatic is, you know, an airline pilot. So it had to be what it is.
With many filmmakers, they find that there's a common thread going through all their work, and I read that you said that death and lightning is your common thread. How do you think that flight?
Well, I don't know if that's a common thread. Those seem to be images that always pop up somewhere. It's, you know, I think it comes from my, you know, 8 years of Catholic school.
And then looking over your career, I mean, do you feel that Flight is one of the more, you know, very adult films that you're doing, or how do you think it fits in with the rest of your filmography, which is a very impressive one, we have to say?
Well, you know, I think it fits in where it fits in. You know, I mean, I think that you know, it's going to be great fun for some, you know, for some film scholar to figure out after I'm long gone.
And I think the film itself is going to be good for film scholars to analyse. There's a lot going on there.
Well,
but it's an incredible film. Robert Zemeckis, absolute pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.